Babe, I don't know if you're out there. I'm imagining your black hair just like me. Love is hard. I met a guy that just wanted me to impress his parents. He didn't care about me. He treated me poorly. I hope you want my everything. The Black Lotus. The children had brown hair. I was born with black. Worse yet, I was born with the name Lotus. And no lotus flower had ever been seen as black. I was mocked and bullied by the kids because of my black hair. One day, in my teens, when I was 16, I dyed my hair white. They stopped bullying me. But I was just a poor islander from the Smuggle Isles on the borders of Estia. Our family was poor. I never had much luck in love, but as I wandered the docks and looked at the ships, a man came by me. His clothes were ragged, and he looked like a foul pirate, but his words were beautiful. You're an angel just like me. I didn't understand what he said, but he meant it. He talked about how he had been cast aside and thrown out of the angel society. As he fell through to this planet, he burned, and when he landed, he woke up in a different body. I'm an angel just like him. Maybe he hit his head. I looked for blood and wounds, but nothing, just his black hair. He liked when I touched him, but I only did because I wanted to make sure he was okay. That's a lie. His words struck deep into my heart. What if I'm an angel? And what if I was cast aside like him, doomed to this planet? And what if we found each other? I wanted him to be right. We were angels, and we had found each other. Yes, I'm an angel like you, I said and gave him a hug. The feelings I felt all over my body was that of attraction. I wanted him then and there, and when he moved away from me, I hugged him tight and close to me again. Don't ever leave me, I said, and looked him in the eyes. There was a blue glow deep within as up struck me. I started hearing things in the distance, small whispers. I promise, a voice said, but his lips didn't move. What's your name? The voice said. I answered, Lotus. He put a finger on my lips. White lotus? He said. I wanted to suck on his finger, but it was already gone. The voice buzzed inside my head, slowly talking and mumbling. It was hard to hear it. We have a bond for life, he said, and kissed my forehead. At that time, I didn't understand what he meant, but we were both angels, and that was enough for me. What's your name? I said. The voice in my head answered, Dama, the damned child, Dama the outcast, Dama the useless, Dama the. The man looked down into the ground as the voice talked, but I shouted, Stop talking badly about yourself, Dama. He looked up and saw my eyes. I think his eyes wanted to kiss me. There was a sparkle of blue. Yes, my princess, he said with moving lips. The voice didn't answer. It was his words from his mouth, and it sounded as beautiful as when he said I was an angel. I was his princess. He was my prince. I knew nothing about this man. What do you do? I asked, and the voice in my head answered, I'm a sailor. We sail cargo between Estia and Midviland. I knew nothing at those places. I spent my entire life on the Smuggle Isles. Can I go with you? I said. I didn't want to let go of him. I wanted him to be mine. I told you, I will never leave you. He said and gave my hand a squeeze. I wanted to go with him. I had nothing on this island. My parents always told me to leave the Smuggle Isles if I could. This was what they wanted. He held my hand as he pulled me walking on the docks and we stopped in front of a ship. Captain, Dama shouted. A man with a hat and feather in it walked over. I found an angel, Dama said. Oh, yes, she is valuable, the captain said and laughed. I didn't like his laugh or his look. He kept looking at the coin in his hand and flipped it in the air. Sometimes he would take his purse with clanging coins and show to the men on the ship. Dama was busy looking at me. Set sails, the captain shouted. While looking at Dama, he started getting to work. The captain walked over to me. His breath was rotten. A lady must relax in a cabin. I like you, that's why you should stay in the captain's cabin, he said and waved his hand at the door. I just wanted to get away from him, so I walked in the door. There was a chest, fancy clothes, and a beautiful map on a table close to the wall. I decided to sit in the chair in the middle of the room and look at the map. Estia was to the west of the island of Midviland. The Smuggle Isles were a known route between the two places. I heard stories of the kings of Midviland. There was no one ruler and no one had the strength to control the seas. To the northeast of Midviland was a tree, a giant tree on the map, and there were three islands. Coley was to the far north, a white icy island. There was loud shouting on deck. I heard Dama and the captain. She's my angel. We're not selling her, Dama shouted. She walked into the captain's cabin willingly. She wants me, and when we're done with her, we'll sell her as a broken soul in Estia. She'll be dancing at the Inn of Sin. The captain shouted. The door opened. Dama was running at the captain, but he locked the door. Dama was banging. When I'm done with you, you won't be able to walk, the captain said with a large knife in his hand. I stood up from the chair. I looked around but saw nothing of use as I heard the floorboards creak at the step of the captain. Then I heard a voice. I saw Dama looking at me through the top bars of the door. Look at your right hand, the voice said. My hand had a blue spark. Magic won't save you, Angel, the captain said and laughed as he held the knife out. When I count to three, you hit him, the voice said. When I looked at the dark and dead eyes of the captain, I started shaking. He came closer. Cold? I will warn you, the captain said and let go of the knife. It clanged on the wood. 1. The voice said the captain touched my face with his palm. 2. The voice said I was ready to give up. My whole body had goosebumps, and his breath made my eyes see double. 3. The voice shouted. The captain's lips were moving against me in the motions of a fish. I looked down at my hand, and it was glowing with the blue flame surrounding it. I struck at his stomach with all of my strength. The cabin door flew against us, but the captain was also flying against the unhinged door. The door became small pieces of wood against the back of the captain. The captain stared at me, but didn't move. He just lay there. He didn't even shout. Captain? The crew started saying in front of the cripple. Dama challenged the captain to a duel. I think he won. Wait, that makes him captain. Long live Captain Dama, the sailors shouted. I looked at Dama with a smile. He took the hat that had fallen on the floorboards and put it on his head. The crew cheered at him. They shouted. He was my hero, the angel. He looked at me and I heard the voice. Are you okay? I had to think we made the captain a cripple. We destroyed a life. The floorboards creaked, but when I looked at the man on the floor, he just stared at me. Maybe he had a wife. Dama hugged me, and I stopped my thoughts. That son of a... He was the son of a prince. We have to flee, Dama said. But he started laughing as my body stiffened. I'm joking. He has no family, Dama said and smiled. He moved in for a kiss, but I stopped him. Stop reading my thoughts, I said and put my finger on his mouth. He was a rapist. I shouted at the sailors watching us while pointing at the crippled body. They laughed. I didn't understand why they were laughing. And I've killed the cat, one of the sailors said. They're all rapists, the voice said. I wanted to hide away in a corner, hearing how little the sailors cared about women. Dama took the hand of the cripple. The hand was just hanging in the air. The man didn't move, he just wobbled in Dama's hand. Rapists on my ship deserve to end up like this, Dama said and pointed at the cripple. Anyone else want a round? Dama said. The sailors moved away from Dama. He pointed at the nearest sailor. You take the trash and hang it from a rope. Then we can all remember what happens to rapists on this ship, Dama said. The men had big eyes as they looked at the man dragging the cripple across the deck. Most of them saw him destroy the door with his fist. They won't hurt you, the voice said. Dama left the cabin and he started shouting at the men to keep the course. I was alone again. On the floor were broken fragments of teeth. I wanted it to go away, but I still had some fear in me. Hours went. The voice kept talking to me, but I just wanted to think about something else then.